This is for you. Oh!
Hey, hey,
Azaga, zaga, zaga. Azaga, zaga.
hey, Igbo Chicago, ndị gara aga.
Ndị Chigos.
Hey, oh, hey, Igbo Chicago, ndị bara.
Hello there, share this video, like this video, subscribe to this video. That's the only way we're going to grow. And remember, we are not going to tell you what you want to hear, but we're going to bring the facts to you, clear and bold. And that's what our listeners demand.
No, I want any. Kaikene Fred Nwankwo Ezudo Eze Nwafọ si Ajalebia, Publisher, African Lifestyle Magazine, Chicago. Nwafọ ndị Chicago Jemba.
Hello everybody. Once again, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on LNTV. And as usual, I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. Today, you could call this an Ru'o edition, which means when your wealth gets home. It's when you bring your wealth home to your home state. That's when people know you have arrived. And so far, Igbos all over the world have been spreading their wealth around the world and ignoring their homeland. It's time to stop the bickering. I don't care what the federal government doesn't do for an Igbo. I don't give a rat's ass who hates Igbos in Nigeria. That's fine. But Igbos can make every one of those people love Igbos if Igbos start taking care of themselves and their homeland. You cannot make people love you when you ignore your homeland and go beautifying their homeland. If you were them, you too will call you a fool. Share this video, like this video, subscribe to this video.
This is for you. Oh!
Hey, hey,
Azaga, zaga, zaga. Azaga, zaga.
hey, Igbo Chicago, ndị gara aga.
Ndị Chigos.
Hey, oh, hey, Igbo Chicago, ndị bara.
I really don't know how to start this segment without sounding like Mr. Know-It-All. And believe me, I'm the first to tell you that I don't know it all. So everything I'm trying to do here is to bring my own little thoughts to the table about why I think that Ndi Igbo really need to take a step back and look inwards and ask ourselves, even though we know that there is a cabal in Nigeria that is out to make sure that we don't see the light of day, we also need to look inwards and ask ourselves, what do we do within our communities that really brings so much attention to us, right or wrong? Since the Civil War ended, it seems like there is a breed, a segment of Igbos, and quite a good number, that have gotten extremely boisterous and loud anywhere they go. People don't like loud people. And when you get that loud, you draw attention to yourselves. Igbos achieved a lot before the war because Igbos were calculating and they were humble but determined. When Igbos built an Igbo, they were not stabbing each other in the back. Now it's a culture of noise-making and boisterous people, always double-crossing each other, stabbing each other in the back just to gain some grounds. How can we forget what brought us this far? The culture of Onye, the culture of picking up one another, the internationally acclaimed culture of the apprenticeship that built so many billionaires in Igbo land. Where did we go wrong? Just listen me out. We have our hometowns, we have our villages. Why do we need to have Igbo in Lagos and Kaduna and Abuja and Ghana and China and New York? Why do we need Igbo? Onye chie nke ochiri na beha, isn't that enough for you? And in Nigeria, banye moto mo plane na bunu. Ichie ihe ichiri, celebrate ihe ichiri. The people there understand ihe ichiri. What does a Yoruba man or an Hausa man or an Edo man or a Ghana man, what do they care about Igbo and what you cheered in your hometown? Igbos need to start condemning these vanities that is bringing so much negative attention to us. Because these Igbos also come in and start trying to insert themselves into the ways and traditions of the people who they live in their places. How would you like people from those places to come to your own part of the country, in some cases trying to make you feel that in your own place we are bigger than you? It doesn't look good. If we don't respect other people's sensitivities, we're gonna be having these issues of people who already hate you taking advantage of the sensitivities of their people to do something to you that is wrong. But when it's going on, even the conscientious among their people tend to be convinced that it's good for you. Sanwo-Olu, I go back to that. Governor Sanwo-Olu and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have a thing for Igbo. Yorubas don't have a thing for Igbo. However, because Tinubu and Governor Sanwo-Olu in Lagos have the ears of the bigots in Lagos, and those bigots see some of the vanity that's exhibited by boisterous Igbos. Again, not all Igbos. Just like what Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu are doing, it's not being done by Yorubas. It's being done by Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu and their bigots. The same thing applies here. Those bigots see the vanity that's exhibited by the boisterous Igbos, and they use it as a justification, a wrong one for that matter, to now come and start destroying your properties out of vengeance for the wrong thing, because it's a society that is lawless. Because if there was good law, there would have been a chance to go to court for you to defend yourself. What am I saying? Igbos, we need to learn how to live and survive in a lawless society where people in power can take advantage of the lawlessness to do wrong things to us without any law checkmating them. We know what the federal government doesn't want to do. It's not hidden. We know they don't want Igbo land to see the light of day. We know that. But instead of worrying about the federal government, what are we doing with our politicians and holding them accountable? How many of our politicians, governors, senators, House of Rep members, political party leaders, how many of them and how many of our significant businessmen, Atoeze, Emeka, Iwu Anyanwụ, just name them. How many times and how many of them have gone to Arise TV or Channels TV or any media and sit down and state the Igbo case about what's going on in Lagos and what Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu, the atrocities they are committing against Igbos and Igbos' properties in Lagos? Have our politicians addressed the needed projects we need in the East and the ones that the federal government can fund? Why don't we have seaports? We know the covert reason why we don't have seaports. But what have our leaders and our politicians, and now this includes the wealthy Igbo people. If you want me to, I'll mention names. How many times has Emeka brought this to the attention of his friends in Abuja? How many times has Atoeze brought this to the attention of our friends in Abuja? How many times has Iwu Anyanwụ brought these things to the attention of our friends? Ojo Zokalo, Chimaroke, Rochas, all those people that flaunt their connections to the cabal. How many times have they gone to the cabal and say, here is what you need to do for my people? Will I be wrong if I say 0 times? We complain we don't have international airport access in the region. In Enugu, only Ethiopian airline comes. How many times has Emeka or Atoeze or Iwu Anyanwụ or Chimaroke or Joe Zokalo or Rochas or Soludo or Alex Oti or all the ones that came before them, how many times have they come to Arise TV or Channels TV? So we don't expect you to say these things and see immediate change, but we expect you to say it so that you could bring it to the awareness of the rest of Nigerians. Because when you see people in Lagos, for the most part ignorant people, saying Igbos must go, why don't you go to your own place? They don't understand the projects that the federal government has not located in those areas, and how many projects were there before the war that the federal government has neglected and see them die. It's our job to bring our message to the people and then let them not do anything about it. We see all these wealthy Igbos and governors, for that matter, using public funds in the case of governors to fund projects in churches and building brand new churches and mosques. But what factories have you brought to an Igbo? So we have all these churches with pastors preaching all the things God is going to do for us. I believe in God. I strongly believe in God. But public funds should not be used to fund churches. And wealthy billionaires should not be funding churches instead of creating jobs. building factories is what create jobs. How many factories can we count that Igbo billionaires have located in Igbo land, except the Newi billionaires? How many? I was once on a flight from Lagos to Enugu, and I was talking to the guy who sat next to me. Very talkative guy. But he made a point that really made me think. He said that Igbos are oppressors, that Igbos oppress themselves. And I tell him, why are you always talking about Igbos in that negative sense? He said, what do Igbos go home to do in December? They go to oppress the poor people in the villages, to flaunt what they brought from wherever they are. And I thought about it, even though it's exaggerated, but really, what do Igbos go home to do in December besides flaunting what they brought home? And it reminds me of the fact with all these wealthy Igbos. You come to their house, starting from the gate and you just have people lined up, more or less begging. And they enjoy that optic of pulling in and the gate opens and these people are begging and treating them like gods. And in some cases, they come out and give bundles of money and all that stuff. That's all fine and dandy. But it's like the Chinese saying that says, give me a fish, I'll eat for a day. Teach me how to fish and I'll eat for a lifetime. How many of those wealthy Igbos that come home to their villages to the wedding of all these poor people begging them for stuff, how many have thought about building factories to employ these poor people who will no longer come to their gates to beg because they have a place to go and work and earn money in a dignified way, regardless of at what level they are earning, from laborers to managers? It doesn't matter, but they are earning. These are food for thought Igbos need to think about. And don't give me that excuse that there are no roads, there is no... Build the factories and build the roads. Let's invest our money in our region. If you build it, they will come. Here is a young Igbo lady narrating the experience in Japan, where they too used to have this obsession for religion until a leader stood up to say, religion is all fine and dandy, but we got to build our country. Listen to this.
See, it gives me great joy when I communicate with wise diasporans. I mean Nigerians in diaspora. Not those ones are contributing billions for a church to be built in their community, in their state, in their village, when the road is like this, when their people don't have steady electricity, when their people lack all the social amenities, they are contributing billions to erect a church. When I speak with wise Nigerians in diaspora, it gives me great joy. And this video is dedicated to one of them. For those of you that are saying that religion is not your problem is your leaders. Leave religion alone. Leave the pastors alone. Leave churches alone. Let me tell you the story of Japan. If Japan happens to be as religious as you are today, they will not have advanced where they are today. Listen, if Tokyo did not redirect the mind of its people to technology, to science, they will not be where they are today. This is your problem. Your problem is these two sides of the same coin, the government and religion. These people are your problem. The reason why you cannot do anything, you don't have good hospitals, is because they have created an institution where you go to pray for good health. You don't have good health by praying. The reason you don't have good road is because they have created an institution where you go to pray and cancel untimely death. The reason that women are dying in the hospital, pregnant women are dying, have created an institution where they go and shout "Hey, hey, hey," and they will be falling off. Somebody will roll his eyes like this, and people will be falling all over the ground, will be falling in the name of anointing. Your government are telling you that your country is in the hands of God. It's in the hand of the imaginary being that they created for themselves. You don't hold them accountable for anything because they have created an institution that keep you sedated. Yes, religion is opium to the masses. Sedation is drug, a bad drug to the masses. They loot in the name of their religion, in the name of the same imaginary being that you are crying to come and help you. You can never have a single advancement when you have dedicated all your life to an illusion.
Take an inventory of the properties that Igbos have in Abuja, in Lagos, in Kaduna, in Kano, even Akure, Abeokuta, Ijebu, not to mention Ogbomoso, Kafanchan, Makurdi. What are Igbos investing all this stuff there when those investments are not in Igbo land? It is foolhardy to leave your house and be investing in somebody else's property, which is their house, while yours is left barren. The biggest fear that I have in Igbo is that Asaba, Port Harcourt, Calabar, and Uyo, and even Yenagoa in Bayelsa. My biggest fear is that it won't be long before Igbos in those places and Igbo-friendly people from those places will also join the bandwagon of telling Igbos to get the hell out of their place. Because when you make yourself a laughing stock, the laugh is also going to come from the most unexpected places. And on that note, it brings me back to Ekwemetas of Alibo, the our way or no way groups in Alibo. I don't know how many Igbos who, as frustrated as they are where they are, except with a gun to their head, are willing to rush back to live in Alibo because of unknown gunmen, because of threats that IPOB makes, and then the pocket compromised Igbo people that have sold their souls to the Fulani cabal and to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The reality is that such groups are usually very vocal, and very boisterous, leading people inside and outside Igbo to think that they control the mindset of Igbo. But the reality is that those people, all three of them combined, they are a minority. Yes, they are a minority. They wouldn't want to hear that. They are very loud, but they are a minority. But a significant minority. I must give that to them. And my challenge to IPOB, which is the face we know, and the pocket compromised Igbos that live off the cabal, my challenge to those two groups is, Unu wundi Igbo. And to IPOB, Unu senunu choro interest in Igbo. How do you fight for the interest of a people by making those people's lives miserable? How can you say that Nunu choro interest in Igbo and Nuna fight for interest in Igbo, and every second in every move you make, you're making intimidating statements, if not threatening, outright threatening, bloody massacre if your way is not done. I challenge IPOB today, their leadership especially, to show me one action they have taken in Nigeria since they started this IPOB Biafra movement. Show me one action IPOB has taken that has hurt a Fulani man or anybody in Asha. Because your main target is what the Fulanis are doing to us and the policies that Asha is supporting. But how many things has IPOB done that has not hurt Igbo? Every one of your actions have been painful to the people you say you want to protect their interests. That is food for thought. Think about it. When did you ever know Igbo as people that follow directions sheepishly? Why did Igbos fight in 1967? Because they saw a Nigeria that was wrong and pleaded with other Nigerians to fight and get away from the Fulani who did not want to be part of Nigeria the way it was. The others refused, and Igbos fought the war. We lost the war, but we kept our dignity, because 53 years after the war ended, Igbos are smiling and saying, "I told you so," because the rest of Nigeria has seen that what the Igbos fought for in 1967 still aches Nigeria in 2023. So for IPOB, I ask you, what makes you think you can intimidate Igbos into following your ways instead of negotiating with Igbo to incorporate your ways and what they want to build something that is good for an Igbo? We all want to build a paradise for Igbo, but we cannot build a paradise for Igbo if we're tearing each other apart. And I challenge IPOB today to say to them, much as you want Biafra, your fight is a right fight. Your course is the Igbo course, but your methods are not helping you to achieve what you're trying to do, and it's not helping Igbos to resolve the issues within our homeland and work together as a team. So I challenge IPOB. I challenge Simon Ekpa and all the people that follow him. It's time to listen to what Nnamdi Kanu is now saying, even after he started out on the same radical pace that Simon Ekpa is pursuing today. Nnamdi Kanu has seen that his problem is not Igbo, anaghi. His problem wundiro Igbo. And the only way Nnamdi Kanu can succeed, or Simon Ekpa can succeed, is that everybody takes their egos, throw it in the pocket, and come to the Igbo table for all Igbos to sit down and negotiate the way forward. If we're able to do that, we're going to build a paradise in an Igbo. It's been done before, it'll be done again. Ladies and gentlemen, Once again, this is Fred Nwanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bull Talk on Island TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Onwe bia odiko we kasia, onwe bia odiko we jedebe, onwe bia odiko we kasia, we chekubolisa omesi ogadema, onwe bia odiko we kasia, onwe bia obulolu ekwensu, onwe bia odiko we kasia, we welu ndede otesi ogadema. Angananti asili umueno, angananti okumu, angananti asili umueno, ivi mena numu agaselele. Angananti asili umueno, angananti okumu, angananti asili umueno, ivi mena numu agaselele.